I'm Shane Connuck. Big crowds like this behind me are not uncommon here in the Northwoods League. And for Chicago Cubs pitcher Alec Mills, his time with the Madison Mallards was the first time that he got to experience crowds like this.
Up until then, that was the biggest crowd by far I'd ever had. Obviously I was at a smaller school in Tennessee. We had 150 people maybe at a game. So to go to Madison and the passion they had for the Mallards and how many people showed up to the game every night was special.
Mills' time with Madison was short-lived, but in that time he made the opening night start and earned the Pitcher of the Night award. Back to you, Joe. Well, we've been talking a lot today about the success that both these teams have put together this year. Well, for St. Francis, unbeaten coming into this one. These 20 points that it's already surrendered are the most the Panthers have given up in a game all season. As for IMG, it's won its last 4 games via the shutout, and now scoring the last 20 unanswered points, trying to put away this Panthers team that has not been beaten yet this year. Here with Home Run Derby champion Joey Walls. Joey, you just had that trophy over there. What does that mean to you?
It's an awesome trophy to have, but the one at the end of the year would be better as Northwoods League champions, Stingers. So.
I'm Shane Connuck here with Great Lakes All-Star starter Grant Manning. Grant, what does it mean to you to start in the All-Star game?
It is an absolutely incredible experience to be able to pitch in front of the home crowd here. This was an experience that I'll never forget for the rest of my life, and I look forward to all the future and be able to get to see everybody and hang out with everybody here at the field is awesome.
Thanks, Joe. Before this game, Great Plains pitching coach Alex Cox from the St. Cloud Rocks told his pitchers just go out there, enjoy this great atmosphere, and just enjoy it. And it seems like they've done just that, starting off this All-Star game with 6 no-hit innings. Back to you, Joe. What do you have to say to some of the players about playoff atmosphere at Carson Park for those who haven't seen it yet? Maybe some of our viewers might not have seen it yet. What do you have to say about what's playoff baseball going to be like in Eau Claire?
It's going to be rowdy. We got some loyal fans that just really love baseball, and it's fun to be at home. I mean, they enjoy playing at home. So I don't know exactly what our record is at home, but I'm sure it's better than being on the road. But right now, it's the atmosphere that they all crave for. So that's the big thing for us.
I can tell you about one of those records. You guys are 8-0 against Duluth in the regular season this year. But, as you head into this playoff matchup, what is it that stands out to you about this Huskies team?
That's scary that we're 8-0. I mean, they're a very good team. They've had some injuries. We've caught them on some good days of them getting back from Bismarck really late one time for a doubleheader. I mean, so I wouldn't really consider 8-0 being that strong yet, but they're out to get us, I'm sure of that. But they're a really good group of guys.
Scott still did play 16 minutes and 26 seconds, the most of any Terrapin in the first half. So here we go, second half time here in College Park. Vontarius Woolbright for Western Carolina as the teams have switched sides. Ty Jean-Claude underneath gets it up above Dante Scott. Scott driving against Tyler Harris. Hanging onto the basketball, and eventually the foul called against Harris.
And you saw the clear out there for Dante Scott, just isolating him there on the wing, but a good first possession for the Catamounts as well, as it was Woolbright finding Claude on the inside, who does good patience and goes up for the layup.
The big man, Claude, 6'8", able to get over Dante Scott. Jameer Young trying to get around Trey Jackson. Gives it to Young. It's up, and it won't go. Young back up. Reese tried to get it, but it ends up in the hands of Harris.
And we saw that a couple times from Jameer Young on Monday night against Niagara. He's able to get that second hop really quickly and get some of these offensive rebounds.
So Russell Jones Jr. has it, being defended by Don Carey. Gets around Reese. The swing out. The 3 from Trey Jackson is off the line. Corralled by Claude. Woolbright driving, trying to get past Reese. He swings it out to Harris. Russell Jones Jr., the 5'8" guard, tries the 3, and it's off the mark. Rebounded by Claude, who puts it back in. 32-19.
And those shots that don't hit the rim are often the hardest to rebound, and Julian Reese just got caught in the wrong position. An easy bucket for Claude.
So here's Dante Scott. He gives it to Reese. Don Carey has it, and just before that, the officials signaling for a Western Carolina foul. So Maryland will take it underneath. Already a couple of team fouls in this second half for the Catamounts. And fouls was another big problem for them in that first half, Josh.
Yeah, got into the bonus early, the Terps did, and capitalized on their free throws.
Hakeem Hart puts up the long-range shot, and it's no good yet again. Here's Russell Jones Jr. Jones tries to use his speed to get by Scott. Now Scott and Reese down low, backing in Claude, and Julian Reese ends up being the bigger man.
That's better defense from Julian Reese there. It just stands straight up and makes it hard for Claude to get up and over him.
Nice move by Jameer Young, and then he capitalizes on the mid-range.
Just buttery smooth from Jameer Young there. Spins around the screen, pulls up from the elbow easy J for the graduate student.
So here's Woolbright. The drive. And a nice takeaway by Don Carey. Hakeem Hart in front. Carey's going to take it himself. Scott pulls down the miss. Couple of Catamount defenders around, but Scott doesn't care. He goes right up and nails the two-pointer.
Yeah, his first points of the night. You can kind of tell once Dante Scott grabbed that rebound, he was not going to let it go, and he was going right up with it.
So finally on the board is the Terps senior, Dante Scott, 6'8", 230 pounds out of Philly. Russell Jones Jr. gives it up. Driving into the paint is Vontarius Woolbright, and he puts it in. Woolbright, 4 points, the second bucket in 7 attempts. Hart was going in, and the foul ends up being called on Vontarius Woolbright.
Yeah, and here's good defense from the Terps. Don Carey pushing the ball, decides to go with it himself, just missed it, and Dante Scott grabs that rebound, and you see him clear out some space, get his man up in the air, and go right up with it.
And a nice move by him, considering how strong the defense was right in front. Still finds the little avenue, goes up, and gets it to 2 points. Dante Scott looking for 3 of them, and the shot won't go. Julian Reese, a great rebound and putback. Julian Reese was down there, rebounds it, and quickly goes back up and in.
It's a big man rebound from Julian Reese. Using that big wingspan of his to go up and get the ball and say, this is mine, I'm going to get it.
As Dante Scott was looking for 3. Jones gives it to Harris. Maryland, a lot of defense at the perimeter. Jones drives, nothing doing, and he loses the basketball as he tried to pass it, and Dante Scott was right there to receive it. Hakeem Hart, the 3, knocks it down and then points up, and at the student section who celebrates, Maryland finally connects from downtown and opens a 20-point lead against the Catamounts.
Hello and welcome to the Northwoods League pregame show. I'm Shane Connuck. As some precipitation came down around Wisconsin yesterday, a little rain wasn't stopping us from a big Monday of Northwoods League baseball. Let's get right into things, starting with a big one from the Great Lakes Division. The Kokomo Jackrabbits and the Traverse City Pittsfitters. 5th inning scoreless. Mark McNelly dips that one into right field. Barehanded by Marcy out in right, trying to gun down Hogan at the plate, and Duarte can't get the tag down. So he scores, and it's 1-0 Jackrabbits. Bottom half the inning, Traverse City, bases loaded, no out. Duarte grounds that one to third, coming home with it. They get the out there, now they go to first, and it gets under Thornberry's glove. Now remember, the bases were loaded, so Marshall Toole slides in to score. So now, all right, play ended, right? Sam Tackett following, and he slides in, and look at him sitting there, posing, all pumped up as the Traverse City Pittsfitters heads up, base running, scores 2. They score 5 in the inning. Now here in the ninth, 7-3, Kokomo down to its final strike, and Thornberry keeps them alive. Sartori and Barnes score, and the Jackrabbits cut the deficit. A due-out rally continuing on an Alejandro Hogan 2-run triple to tie it, and now Connor Stewart to short. Camden Traficante can't field it. Hogan scores, and Kokomo takes the lead. So now does Traverse City have more magic in itself? Bottom 9, Jacob Marcy hit a leadoff single, and now Camden Traficante, 4, 6, 3 for the second out in the inning, clearing the base runner, and the Jackrabbits are going to remember that 8-7 win for a while, an exciting one, out there for the Kokomo Jackrabbits. Now in the Great Plains Division, the Duluth Huskies and the 6-0, or now they're 6-0. I teased it for a second, but let's see how they became 6-0. They're already up 2-0 here in the third. There's Caleb Gallant on the hill for the Huskies. Trevor Austin hits that one in the middle, and a nice play by Jonathan Vastine at second base. Fourth inning, Rocks bases loaded, nobody out. Carson Keithley, he's a two-way player. He pitches and he's DHing yesterday. Sac fly out to left, Josh Cowden scores. St. Cloud up 3-0. A little later in that inning, John Nett rips that one forward, deflects off Gallant, and everybody's safe. 4-0, St. Cloud Rocks leading it. Now here in the fifth, Duluth's got the bases loaded and nobody out, and Vastine will watch that one for ball 4. Hudson Sapp scores, and Duluth gets on the board. Now here's Hudson Sapp again. Oh, he got that one out to right field and gone. Hudson Sapp's first home run of the summer in 13 games with the Huskies. He's batting .311, and you might know where he played his. You might be familiar where he played his college ball. He's a 2022 national champion with Ole Miss. He just finished his redshirt freshman season there, where he saw some action with the Rebels. St. Cloud took it 4-2, and now real quick, something else from that game. Chase Grillo, St. Cloud Rocks closer, recorded his 12th save of the season. That sets the single-season record for the St. Cloud Rocks. Congratulations to Chase Grillo and the Rocks. Now let's get into some other individual performances, starting with our player of the night in a bit. But before we get to the player of the night, we got to look at the standings. We just did the reviews. We got to look at these first. So Kalamazoo 24-18. In the second half, though, the Growlers have been struggling a bit. They're just 2-4, and meanwhile, some other teams are hot. The Green Bay Rockers are 4-2, so are the Wausau Woodchucks. Wausau winners of 4 games in a row. Green Bay has won its last 3. Now, on the Great Plains sides of things, the Eau Claire Express are 5-1 here in the second half. The La Crosse Loggers 3-3. The St. Cloud Rocks, I said it earlier, and now we can say it for real now that we saw the highlights. They are 6-0. The Wilmer Stingers have won their last 4 games, 4-2, and the second half of action. So I was getting too excited. First I said the St. Cloud Rocks were 6-0 before we got to the highlight. Then I started saying the player of the night before it was time. I think we're on track now. Player of the night. He's got a familiar last name. Brady Council lit it up for the Kenosha Kingfish last night. He went 3-for-6 and batted in 4 runs. Not to mention he stole 2 bases, bringing his season total to 11. The Minnesota Golden Gopher has had a strong season so far, with 21 RBIs in 31 games and a .407 on-base percentage. Now let's get back to the last name thing. His dad, Craig Council, is the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers. We're excited to see how this sophomore continues to develop. It's his second year in the Northwoods League, and his batting average is up from 153 with Wilmer last year to 287 with Kenosha. On the mound, our pitcher of the night did exactly what you would want your pitcher to do. He pitched 6 scoreless innings, leading his team to victory. Bryce Crabb of the Green Bay Rockers. Crabb struck out 5 Rockford batters while walking none. He improves his whip to 1.22. Crabb is Midwest through and through. He's from Des Moines, Iowa, and plays his college ball at the University of Northwestern St. Paul. There, he made the 2022 Upper Midwest Athletic Club first team all-conference squad. You know what today is? Today's Tuesday. A week from today is the 2022 Northwoods League All-Star Game, where the best of the Great Plains, the best of the Great Lakes, you know the drill. It's going to be great. And on the other side of this break, you're going to hear from one of those All-Stars coming up on the Northwoods League Baseball Network.